Hey everybody, this is D Hunter, bringing another action figure review. Today, we're going to look at the Neca My Bloody Valentine Ultimate Miner. I ordered this figure from Target and it arrived today, so let's take a look at the packaging. As you can see at the top, there's more than one way to lose your heart. Here he is on the front, My Bloody Valentine Ultimate Miner. One side of the package, just the title. Other side, same thing. At the back, here's the figure, ton of different display options and accessories. At the bottom, a bunch of credits. There's his barcode, if that helps. This is one of NECA's Ultimate figures. Window box packaging. You can hear the Velcro as I open it up. On the inside flap, here's the figure. And then here he is with all of his accessories. So with no further ado, let's open him up. Alright, now that we have this figure out of the package, here he is with all his accessories laid out. We have a knife, a nail gun, a box of chocolates containing a surprise, and a large pickaxe. Before we take a look at all that, let's talk about and check out the figure. So this is the Ultimate Miner from My Bloody Valentine. The original version from 1981. They made a remake in, I think, 2009. And I had never seen this movie. In fact, I don't think I'd ever even heard of this movie until the figure came out. And I actually watched it last night. With Valentine's Day so close, it seemed kind of appropriate. The movie wasn't really that good, but it was entertaining and the acting was decent. The effects were okay. It was pretty gruesome. The story of the movie is there were a bunch of miners and their supervisors left early to go to a Valentine's dance, and then they all got stuck with a cave-in. They were in there for 2 weeks. Harry Warden had to resort to cannibalism to survive, and once he escaped, he hunted down and killed the 2 supervisors. Spoiler, and as the plot twist, it turns out the new version, 20 years later, they're having another Valentine's dance, first time in 20 years, because Harry Warden came and killed everybody on Valentine's Day, because that's the reason that he went through that 2 weeks of horribleness. It turns out that Axel, one of the young guys, his parents were the supervisor, was killed, and then he's sort of repeating the crimes when they're celebrating Valentine's Day again. It's a pretty weak plot, pretty gruesome movie, a slightly fun time. So let's take a closer look. Just sort of a generic miner. This is how they would look in, I don't know, the 70s or 80s. He's got his hard hat on, light on top, gas mask, sort of goggles there, and then it's bloody on top of that. He's got a big, long sort of breathing apparatus, kind of looks like a CPAP machine. He's in typical sort of jumpsuit. Looks like double jointed elbows, single jointed knees, a little bit of gear on the side. His oxygen goes into there. A little wire connected to the back. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. I feel like it's kind of an obscure movie, but maybe I just wasn't personally exposed to it, and it was sort of a big mainstream one. I don't know. I feel like he's an obscure horror character, and I think that's a pretty cool idea. They also made an 8-inch retro version, but I don't collect that scale, so I was really happy they finally did the 7-inch version. And a closer look at his helmet, face, and head sculpt, which looks pretty good. And it is removable, which is a very nice feature. And then, here's the figure, broken down as far as he can go, with all of his removable parts detached. Now let's check out his accessories. He has 4 different things here, 3 of which are weapons. I'm actually surprised that he didn't come with any extra hands. He currently has 1 gripping hand of the trigger finger, and 1 gripping hand. He probably should have had 2 fists, 2 gripping hands, and 2 gripping hands and trigger fingers, but at least he can hold all the weapons. So let's take a look at them. He has a little knife here, which he used at the end of the film to cut his own arm off and escape. Then we have this nail gun here that he killed, I guess, one of my favorite characters in the film. Shot him in the head 2 times with this thing, sort of lobotomized him. Then we have his pickaxe, which he killed most of the people in the film with. And finally, probably the coolest accessory is this heart-shaped box of chocolates. On the outside, looks very innocent, but it does open up. And on the inside, it has this severed heart. Here's the miner holding onto his knife. Here's the miner holding that nail gun. And then holding his pickaxe, which he can hold with either one hand or with 2. Here's the miner holding that box of chocolates. But of course, as we know, the box contains more than just chocolates. A human heart. Now let's check out his mask, which is removable. So first of all, his heart out here is a little wire, which I assume controls the light, and goes all the way down and plugs into this little device on his belt. And then it also has oxygen going down to this other device on his belt. Now the mask and helmet itself is removable. You gotta sort of unplug this and then just sort of wiggle it off. And then here's a look at how he is with the mask off. He's got kind of a ski mask looking thing, his eyes are exposed, and he looks kind of terrified. Now one really annoying thing about this, it is permanently attached here and here, so you can't actually remove it. And I've sort of been tugging at it. I don't think I'm wrong. He can sort of hold it under his arm or something like that, but he can't actually take it all the way off. I wish this thing was like pegged in, you could take it off. I'm sure I could rip it off, I'm sure it's glued on, but definitely not trying to do that. This is probably the best pose you're going to get if you want him with the mask and helmet off. And just a closer look again. Now that we've taken a pretty good look at the figure and his accessories, let's check out his height. From bottom to the top of his helmet, standing about 7 3/4 inches tall, which can translate to about 19.5 centimeters. The helmet adds quite a bit of height to this guy. His head would probably sit in about 7.2 inches tall, something like that. And for his articulation, starting with this head, it can rotate side to side. He can look up and down a pretty good amount. Can tilt his head at least a little bit from side to side. Shoulders on sort of ball joint, goes out less than 90 degrees, up, down, around. He does have double jointed elbows. They go in pretty far. He's got rotation at the top and then rotation at the bottom as well. His wrists can rotate and they're hinged as well. Torso is one solid piece. He doesn't even have waist articulation. I can kind of push it on that. It's not hollow, but it does go in a little bit. Legs, they go out about that far. Completely does the splits, surprising. Ball joints. They can rotate independently against the ball. They can go forward quite a bit as well. Back not much. Single jointed knees with rotation and the ankle. Forward and back. Tilt and rock. And then the rotation is going to be in the knee. And that looks like about it. Here's his ultimate miner, holding his pickaxe, about to take somebody out. Now let's check him out next to some other action figures, starting off with some other Neca horror figures. Here's the miner next to some Neca classic Universal Monsters figures, Frankenstein, the Mummy, Dracula, and the Wolfman. And here he is with some more Neca horror figures. We have the Christopher Lee Dracula, Nosferatu, the Phantom, and the Ultimate Professor Burke. Then, next to some more modern horror icons, Freddy, Jason, Pinhead, and Michael Myers. Next, with the Ultimate John Carver, we have a Valentine's Day killer next to a Thanksgiving killer. And now, with the most recent Neca figures that I've gotten, Vincent Price, Ardeth Bay, Beetlejuice, and Leatherface. Here he is, with some more recent Neca releases. We have the Dare Clown, Krampus, and the alien Romulus Xenomorph. Now let's check him out next to some action figures from different various companies, so we can see how he fits in both scale and style-wise, in case you want to know which lines you can mix him with. Since he's a Neca toy, they're typically the 7-inch scale. I'm going to start off my comparisons with some of the large action figure lines I collect, and work way smaller. But first, let's check him out with some of his Neca brothers. In front of you are 5 different action figure lines, all from Neca toys, all 7-inch scale. And now, with some Jack-specific wrestling figures, and some Diamond Select toys, here's the Ultimate Miner, next to a thing of smoked sausage. And here he is, next to some McFarlane and DC Direct figures. Then, with both some Mattel and Jazzwares wrestling figures. And now, with some Mezco and Mattel DC figures. Next, with some Mafex and Hasbro Marvel Legends. And finally, with some SH Figure Arts and Jazzwares Fortnite figures. So overall, it's a nice figure. The detail is pretty nice. The mask, the helmet, the accessories. I do wish he came with extra hands, and I think he could have come with a shovel, even though he didn't actually use a shovel in the film, but he fought somebody else with a shovel. His articulation is a little bit limited, but he doesn't need to be some super articulated Spider-Man type character. If I were to rate this figure, I think 7, 6.5, probably 7 out of 10. It's nice, but I damn sure never asked for a Ultimate Miner from My Bloody Valentine. Hell, I'd never even heard of the movie. I watched it, and I sort of enjoyed it. But I'm happy to add him to the horror collection. Neca is just making such a wide variety of horror figures. I think it's really, really cool. So this is D Hunter. Thank you for watching this video. If you liked the video, press like below. If you have anything you want to say with the video, add to the comment section. If you want to see additional action figure reviews from me, press subscribe. I do appreciate you do that. Once again, this is D Hunter. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll talk to you guys real soon.